In this video, you'll learn how to create your own artifact types and forms in objectiF RPM in order to extend a template for your own processes. Let's assume that a company wants to prevent good ideas from getting lost in its projects. In other words, the company wants to introduce a form of idea management. So let's now imagine I'm tasked with extending the project template for this functionality. I'll start by adding a new artifact type, idea, to the template. From the folder with user-created artifact types, I choose Create. My new artifact type will be called idea. The UX designer has already created a new icon which I'll assign now. The artifact type needs a few properties. For example, a description. We'll use an RTF format for that. I also want to be able to assign a ranking. I'll add the values interesting, highly interesting, and uninteresting. Other than that, I want to be able to reference the person who had the idea. Here we need to use a reference property. I just need to supply a name, author, and choose the correct repository element, project user. I now need to determine the schema according to which the identifier for an idea should be generated. Finally, I need to say where ideas are stored. I'll choose packages, that is, folders. I've now added the new artifact type to the project. I also want to do more, however. I want to be able to keep track of which requirements were derived from which ideas. That means I need to define a new artifact relationship. There's another dialog window for this. I'll name the relationship Idea Requirements Relationship, or RShip for short. This relates the default artifact type requirement with the new artifact type idea, which I just defined. And that's all I need to do here. However, I still don't have a user interface for creating and editing ideas. That's easy to remedy. I'll create a new form for ideas. I supply a name and designate which artifact type I want to edit with the form. Now I just need to say which menu group the command for creating ideas should show up in, and I'm done. The form designer opens automatically, and I can now select which properties I want to appear in the form. Those are the current state of the idea, the author, the name has to be there, and it's already selected, the ranking I just created, and also the identifier. And that's all we need. objectiF RPM now gives me a suggested layout for the form. I like it the way it is, but there are a couple things missing. I'll create a tab for the description and place a memo box for editing RTF text. The text entered here needs to be saved as idea description, so I'll assign the memo box to the property I previously defined. I'll create a second tab and place the element references. This is for referencing the requirements that are derived from the idea. And we're finished. Now it's time to test, because what I've set up here will appear in every project generated with this template. So let's attempt to create an idea. I see that the menu is functioning and the form opens. The description field is showing up and editing works. I also want to see whether I can reference requirements, so let's click on the plus symbol. The selection dialog opens, and I can now select which requirements and enter them into the form as references. And let's see whether the idea was correctly saved in the repository. I'll just open it again. Everything looks good, and the identifier was also correctly generated.